Hello everybody, my name is Ryan, and in this lesson I'm going to just show you the basic workflow of staging files and then committing those files to the repository. So to begin, we'll just type git status. This is a good command to use frequently. Just shows you the general status of your current folder, and it tells me that this is going to be the master branch that we're working on. Remember, by default, when we initialize our Git repository, it automatically creates a branch called master. So now we've got, it tells us it's going to be the initial commit, the very first time we're going to commit to this particular repository, and then it gives me a lot of files in red, telling me that they're currently untracked. If a file is untracked, it means that Git knows nothing about it, and it's not going to keep track of its changes. So obviously we want to start tracking these changes so that we can get to manage the changes on these specific files. So to start tracking files, we just type git add followed by one or more files. So let me just add a couple. You can use tab completion. So I just added 2 files, and if I do a git status now, you'll see those 2 files I just added are in green, and these are currently in the staging area. They haven't yet been committed. You'll see it says if I want to remove them or unstage them from the staging area, I can use the git rm command, which means remove, and then cache just means remove it from the staging area, or remove it from being tracked. Okay, so let me show you an example of that. If I just say git rm -- cached, it's a emailing.py. So it's now removed it. It hasn't physically deleted from the working directory, just from the staging area. And so if I do a git status, you'll see that that is no longer staged. It's now back down to being untracked. So my next step is now to just stage the rest of these files, and the easiest way to do that is just to say git add dot. The dot represents the current directory, and it works recursively, so that means any subdirectories will also then be staged as well. So the first time you staging files, this is probably the quickest way you can do it. Now we do a git status, and you'll see they're all in green, so they're all being tracked, and we are ready now to commit these files to the repository. So remember earlier on we set up our username and our email address. If you want to just check that quickly, git config -- global -l to list, and you can see the username and the email address. So it's very important before you do your first commit that you have set these 2 properties up correctly, because this is going to be recorded as during the commit phase, so it knows exactly who made the commit. So to do the commit, we're just going to type git commit. If it's a very simple message, we can use the -m option, and then in quotation marks we can put in the message, something like initial commit. So that will bypass the need of having to open up an editor, record the commit message. So for longer commit messages, it's probably better just to leave out the -m option and run commit by itself, git commit by itself. And you'll see if you do that, it actually opens up your favorite editor of choice. Now I'm just going to say initial commit and save and quit. As soon as I quit, it will actually do the commit. And notice that it gave a little bit of a checksum. This is the partial checksum. We spoke about checksums earlier on. It's actually a 40 character hexadecimal code. And this is just showing you the first couple of characters of that 40 character code. This is a unique value, and it's calculated based on all the files that were added to the repository. Each individual file was run through the SHA1 hashing algorithm and then amalgamated together to form a single hash or checksum. So this kind of verifies the integrity of this particular commit. So now if I do git status, you'll see it says there on branch master, there's nothing to commit. The working tree is clean. And this simply means that the contents of my working directory is equivalent to the contents of the actual repository, which we know is actually stored in the subfolder of our project called .git. And this keeps track of all the different versions of all the different commits. Okay, so I'm just going to clear the screen. You can just type clear to clear the screen. And then I'm going to do a git log. So what git log does is it actually shows you a log of all the commits that have taken place on this particular branch in this repository. So at the moment there's only one commit that's taken place. This was the commit message. Here's the date and time we did the commit. And the author, that's myself, and my email address. And in this way, different people making commits to the same repository will be tracked and will know exactly who made what changes to the particular repository. And remember, this is the 40 character hashing or hash checksum of this particular commit. Each commit that we make will have a unique value over here. So that brings us to the end of learning how to stage our files and to commit them to the repository.